So I did say that we won't get into the philosophical premises of postmodernism, as it is in itself worth an entire video. But you need to know Rousseauian philosophy in order to have context as to what the collectivist right and the collectivist left were thinking at the time. And so Rousseau in your AP history class, Rousseau is the one of the Enlightenment thinkers, right? He was the one who I believe talked about the social contract. I am not completely too sure about that. You have to hold me up against that one. But I believe it was a social contract that Rousseau thought up. And so, yeah, Rousseau is an Enlightenment figure. He helped us with modernism. Not so fast. When you look deeper into Rousseau, a lot of his ideas were fundamentally counter-Enlightenment. It was kind of scary. One of the easiest ways of seeing that Rousseau was fundamentally counter-Enlightenment was Rousseau's idea of human nature. Right? The founding fathers believed that they had a more pessimistic view of human nature. Rousseau, sound familiar? That's why I mixed them up. Although Foucault did believe in Rousseauian human nature, so I guess there isn't that much of a difference between there. But Rousseau believed that civilization degraded mankind. He believed that before civilization, mankind was glorious. We didn't need to worry about property. It was all kumbaya. And then civilization. And mankind started to degrade. Reason was the reason why. Reason was the reason. Reason was the reason why civilization had advanced. And so, when you boil it down, reason was the root of mankind degradation. He believed that on an economic level, because there was a surplus of food, men had time to think, they had time to reason, they developed technologies. So they gained a surplus of wealth because they started hoarding property. There was now a need of property rights, which, by the way, you can make the argument that the idea that uncivilized men did not believe in property is not true. I mean, when you let's take kids for example, right? They're always fighting over, the Legos. Like, these Legos are mine, right? When you're at the park and let's say you have a ball, this happens to me all the time. I play soccer, and so sometimes I wouldn't go to the soccer field. I go to a park, and they have kids there and other people. But I'm not going to shoot. I'm not going to because shooting, the ball flies pretty fast when you're shooting, and so it kind of be dangerous for little kids. But yeah, I would go juggle. All right, juggle the ball, and a little kid will come up and they'll take my ball, and he or she will bring it back to their parents, and it is their parents who have to tell them to give the ball back. Right? It is not yours. So one can make the argument that uncivilized men did believe in property. Not only that, it takes civilization, it takes education, it takes your parents putting you under socially conditioning you to share, to not take other people's property. And so, however, Rousseau believed that on the economic level, men needed property rights because of a surplus of wealth. Property caused division and strife, conflict. On a physical level, because we've developed all these gadgets, because we've developed our techn- technological wise, on a technical level, we've created gadgets, right? Uh, right, laptops, right? Google, we don't need to acquire knowledge and keep it there, right? Now we only need to be smart when the internet's on. Because of a surplus, a ridiculous amount of technology, we've become unfit. And you know what? You have to give the devil his due, because, well, behold, I you can make the argument that obesity is one of the biggest problems facing Americans and everybody in free society, or in the West. You can make the argument that obesity is a problem. It is, especially in America. So yeah, give the devil his due. His due. That is true. He also believed on a social level that before civilization, sex was more on a, I guess, an animalistic level, right? Lions or any animal probably isn't engaging in acts of love. Rousseau believed that civilization caused love, and because love became a feeling, so did jealousy, envy, and other uh pretty awful to say the least. Pretty awful emotions, to say the least. But for Rousseau, there was a problem far bigger than those three. Far bigger than the economic one, far bigger than the physical one, far bigger than the social one. And that was that civilization caused inequality. That civilization gave the rich the means to oppress the poor. And you will see postmodernists and leftists will take that claim, and the critical theorists will later modify that claim on a cultural level. So what was the solution? What was this? Well, right? Now you're convinced that civilization is awful. We're getting fatter. Now we hate each other because of property. Because now because we love, and sex isn't just a act of, I guess, evolution, not evolution, of of continuing on the species, that civilization caused massive amounts of inequality. What was his solution? I mean, Rousseau has to have a solution, right? The solution is revolution, and nothing less than revolution. However, we cannot go back to the the simple days, the days where we didn't worry about property, where we were all kumbaya and hugging and holding hands. We can never go back because reason already poisoned us. You see, we can never go back to that state before civilization began. So he proposed a few different ideas. Uh, well, first he urged us to promulgate passion, to push passion. Passion should be the way or should be the premise of our society. And because passions are the grounds in which our society is built, communalism, collectivism goes to the forefront because we have to have a collective passion. That's the only way we can stick together, right? If if he pushed passions on an individual level, then we'd be in conflict, right? Passion on an individual level is just self-service. Self-service happened because of property. Ultimately, we can't have self-service. We have to have passion, but on a collective level. He also believed that religion is essential. Well, why? Not religion in a sense of for example, modern society, we do have religion, or as a matter of fact, all cultures dating throughout history uses religion as a underpinning, as the basis for which your society moves upon. However, Rousseau didn't believe that religion should be used in that perspective. Rather, he believed that religion should be used as a way to keep people banded together. He believed that invoking religious dogma was crucial to the foundations of civilization, even if the leaders may not necessarily believe in that religion, but religion must be used as a tool, right, to keep everybody banded together. Remember, Rousseau believes in the collective, not the individual. Religion is a powerful tool in order for everybody to be on the same page. And religion was used back in pre-modern society to keep everybody on the same page. Rousseau also believed that or rather, all of this collective talk he called the general will. And we would have spokespeople for that general will. I don't know if you can make the connections to now, but I'll make a connection for you. Let's say, for example, these spokespeople in our society today would be people like D'Angelo. I forgot her first name. I forgot her first name, but D'Angelo, the author of White Fragility, and Ibram X. Kendi, the author of How to Be Anti-Racist. They are the spokespeople for the general will. What's the general will then? Well, the general will can be the pursuit of anti-racism. The general will can be the destruction of Western civilization, but they're not going to tell you that. But why are Kendi and D'Angelo the spokespeople? Well, their books are best-selling. Many people have read their books. And corporations pay them a fortune to tell in D'Angelo's case, to Robin DiAngelo, that's her first name. Robin DiAngelo corporations essentially pay a white woman to tell other white people that they're racist. Right? There are religious aspects to the left's dogma, and they have their vanguard, their intellectual vanguard, which would be another idea that we'll touch upon when we're talking about the tactics socialists use in order to implement socialism. So now we know that Rousseau believed that civilization was degrading, essentially destroying mankind, and reason was the root of that. Civilization hurt man through property, through gadgets, through love. He believed that the worst problem that civilization caused was inequality, an argument that's still used today. He believed that revolution was necessary, that passion is the basis that we need to run our society on, that religion must be used as a tool in order to keep people on the same page, that there must be a general will, and that there must be spokespeople enforcing that general will. He literally says, I don't remember the exact quote, but I'll paraphrase in one of his works, that if one doesn't follow the general will, then death is reasonable. You can put them to death. Rousseau's ideas were put to the test in the French Revolution. There were a few phases of the French Revolution. The second phase was based on liberal capitalism, right? It was based on liberalism, but on, in a colloquial sense, liberal society. But then there was a third phase of the French Revolution, the Reign of Terror. The Jacobin and Robespierre, they believe in Rousseauian philosophy. And the result, millions, not millions, but many people. I don't know the specific number, that's why I'm reluctant to say millions, but a grave number of people died because they weren't enthusiastic enough. They wasn't enthusiastic of the general will.